Don't forget to subscribe!
The end of Yugi's adventure. Atem and the others returned to present-day Egypt, where they were met by Merrick, Ishizu, Odeon, and even Bakura, who has been finally freed from Zork's control. Atem had set his mind to sealing the 7 Millennium items away, along with himself. However, as part of a rite of passage, Soa must defeat Atem in a duel to do so. Although Kaiba and Jolie both volunteer, Yugi takes the offer. The duel will take place tomorrow, and both Pharaoh, Atem, and Yugi construct their best deck possible. It appears Maximilian has something to say in this letter that he wrote. Would you care to do the honors, Maximilian?
You've finally done it, Yugi boy. Everything I spent my life creating has been leading up to this. From the moment I received the Millennium Eye, to the moment I recreated the ancient Shadow Games in the form of Duel monsters. It was fate's hand guiding me to set the stage for the Pharaoh's final journey home. But I wasn't the only one led by fate. Every person the Pharaoh encountered along the way was destined to play a role in his journey. And I'm willing to bet most of them didn't even know it. But each individual, no matter how utterly clueless, was a necessary piece needed to complete the puzzle of the Pharaoh's life. Be they weird fisherman duelists, or annoying mousy little girls. All of these people have one thing in common. Each one is connected by a young man named Yugi Boy, and that mysterious alter ego of his. And not only did these individuals help Yugi, but in turn, Yugi touched each of their lives as well.
Thank you for your time, Maximilian. Now then, with the final arc starting, let's just go over the characters and personalities. Yugi is the main protagonist. He wears the Millennium Puzzle, which is one of the 7 Millennium items in an ancient Egyptian artifact holding the spirit of an ancient Egyptian pharaoh. He fears the other personality inside him at first. However, as the story progresses, he grows a strong bond with his other self and considers his other soul a close and valuable friend. Several defining character moments for him was when he defeats antagonists without Yami Yugi's help in games under bleak circumstances, proving that he is truly worthy of being the Millennium Puzzle's wielder. Joey Wheeler can seem gullible, sarcastic, impulsive, and occasionally cocky, but he's also heroic, loyal, bold, kind-hearted, caring, good-natured, funny, brave, selfless, and loving. Although he's portrayed as comic relief, he's essential to the plot and the series' overall theme. He's an enthusiastic duelist who firmly believes that dueling is about fighting to help people that you love. Taya is athletic and has a strong school spirit, and secretly works at a fast food joint, Burger World, in order to save money. But she's got a dream. It's to be a professional dancer. And she always has her sidekick, Dark Magician Girl, with her when it comes to a duel. In the beginning, Tristan Taylor is considered to be a rival to Yugi, but as the series goes on, he warms up to Yugi and he becomes one of his dearest friends. Although he had a bad childhood, Seto Kaiba was the first opponent Yugi faced off. After the match, Seto regained redemption and he became one of Yugi's allies. Mokuba Kaiba is the younger brother of Seto Kaiba, and he often looks up to his brother, and he has become more sociable after Yugi and the others rescued Mokuba. Yami Bakura is the main antagonist, and he's an evil spirit dwelling inside the Millennium Ring, and he seeks to look for the Millennium items to open the door of darkness, and it grants evil power to those who open it. At the end of the Pharaoh's Memories chapter, The Dawn of the Duel, he was eventually free from his control of Zork, and he eventually was also free from the subsequent destruction of Yami-Bakura. And, to be honest, he travels with Yugi and his friends to Egypt to witness Atem's departure in the ceremonial battle. The building where Bakura witnesses the duel begins to collapse, but he escapes. Here we have Maximilian Pegasus, the creator of Duel Monsters, and the wielder of the Millennium Eye. He's shown to hold a grudge against Yugi, and Max had suffered something in the past. Through a series of flashbacks, he's revealed to have a lover, Cecilia, who died after their marriage. Although the exact details vary from medium to medium, his actions were all carried out in the hopes of resurrecting her. He's eventually defeated in the final game of Duel Monsters by Yugi and Yami-Yugi at the end of an arc, and is obliged to release his victims' souls. He redeemed himself later on. While the real Merrick enjoyed violence and cruelty, Yami Merrick would only use it when he was angry or when it would further his own desires. But his dark side would attack anyone who crossed his path and would prolong their suffering for as long as possible. But after suffering a duel against Yugi, Yami Merrick was destroyed, and Merrick had redeemed himself.
After he was reformed, he then revealed the Tomb Keeper's initiation, the carving of the Pharaoh's memory onto the back of a Tomb Guardian on his back. Fulfilling his duty as a Tomb Keeper, Merrick returned to Egypt to start a new life with his sister, and Odeon. Priest Akhenaten is the guardian of the Millennium Eye and the brother of King Akhenaten. As they grew up, he was secretly jealous of his brother's position as pharaoh, considering himself the true power behind the throne. Zork Necrophades is the creator of the Shadow Realm. He's summoned by Akhenaten by the power of the Millennium Items and attacks the kingdom, dispatching Atem's advisors. In the Memory World, an RPG-style shadow game that attacked Dark Bakura, or Yami Bakura, has set up a base on ancient Egypt. Zork is the game's final boss and has 3 bog gauges. And if Yami-Yugi loses the Shadow RPG, Yami Bakura would gain the ultimate powers of darkness, and Zork would effectively be summoned once again. However, with the help of Yugi and his other dear friends, Atem defeats him and stops him from being resurrected, also freeing Bakura from the Millennium Ring once and for all. Solomon Moto is the grandfather of Yugi Moto, who gave him his famous Millennium Puzzle as a present, which he had recovered from the tomb of Pharaoh Atem in his youth. He was once a gaming master who traveled all over the world to try all sorts of games and win them all, vowing that if he ever lost a game, he'd open up a game shop, wear overalls, and collect years instead of chips. In the present, he's an overall-wearing man who owns a game shop called Kamegame, where Yugi and his friends get several of the games they play together. Duke Devlin is a talented game inventor and is also the creator of Dungeon Dice Monsters. Despite his arrogance and being one of the more negative, sarcastic members of the group, he is still fairly smart and level-headed. Serenity Wheeler is the little sister of Joey Wheeler, separated from him when their parents divorced and her mother took custody of her. When Serenity was diagnosed with the steady onset of blindness, Joey entered the Duelist Kingdom tournament and successfully obtained the prize money to secure the operation that would save her eyesight. Rebecca was bratty at first, but when Yugi gave her the Ties of Friendship card, she regained redemption, and she's also shown to be quite intelligent as she already enrolled in college, but she's still immature and self-centered at times. She was 8 at first when she made her debut, but she was 10, which is actually the same age as Chibiusa's girlfriend, Hotaru. Mai Valentine is an attractive woman who spent most of her life alone. While working as a blackjack dealer on a cruise ship, she developed a cynical attitude towards people and showed no shame in manipulating men.
who displayed foolish infatuation towards her and previously used her aroma tactics to easily beat them in card games. Although she made a lot of money doing this, it caused her to hate more people until she got sick of her job and eventually quit. She became a powerful, successful duelist thanks to her Harpy-themed deck. However, Mai had no true friends and simply dueled for pride and monetary again, but also entered the Duelist Kingdom tournament to find the things she used to cherish. When Mai joins the Duelist Kingdom tournament to seek the prize money, she meets Yugi, Moto, and his friends and steadily forges a true friendship with them when they rescue her star chips from the player killer of darkness to help her stay in the tournament. Leon is polite and respectful of those around him, but he has small doubts about himself when he made it past the first round. Leon likes to keep an optimistic attitude, and this is shown through his duels by enjoying them, and is very modest in his skills, never one to gloat in his victories. However, during his duel against Yugi, he became more determined and brutal, now dueling to help his brother, unaware of his true intentions. Siegfried comes across as arrogant and vain, but he has a kind side, as evidenced by how regretful he feels at the end of the chapter for lying to his brother Leon. So Leon would help him with his own plot. During the final round of the Intercontinental Championship tournament in New York City, Keith was up against Maximilian Pegasus, who used his Millennium Eye to read Keith's mind and predict his moves. Afterward, he wrote something down on a piece of scrap paper and calls over a boy named Sam from the audience. He tells the boy to duel against Keith using the instructions on his note. So using it, Sam defeats Keith in one turn. Keith was shocked and humiliated at being defeated by a child, and he fell into depression. So he later sneaks into Duelist Kingdom to defeat Pegasus and reclaim his glory. Upon meeting Yugi and his friends, Weevil Underwood seemed like a humble and respectful person in contrast to the bold and arrogant Rex Raptor. However, he quickly revealed himself to be underhanded and sneaky, while Rex Raptor ironically shows decent sportsmanship and plays fairly. Rex Raptor chiefly employs a dinosaur deck, focusing on dinosaur-type monsters. He's also overly confident. Mako Tsunami is an ocean-themed duelist appearing in both the Duelist Kingdom and Battle City arcs. Introduced in the Duelist Kingdom arc, he duels Yami Yugi and is defeated. In Battle City, he fights Joey Wheeler, and his backstory is further expanded. It is revealed that Mako's father was a great fisherman who was lost at sea. Mako Tsunami is the first opponent of Yami Yugi who challenges him to a duel with no intentions. However, Mako Tsunami believes his father is alive and duels to raise money to fund a trip to search for him. Bones is a contestant in Duel Kingdom who worked for Bandit Keith. However, we have Sid, who is also another henchman of Bandit Keith, and he speaks in an Australian accent. And Zygor is the third henchman of Bandit Keith, and he's very menacing. Arthur Hawkins appears to be based on Solomon's gaming friend that gave him the Blue Eyes White Dragon card, and he is an excellent professor who lives in California. At some point after Darts was corrupted by the Orichalcos Stone, he was the one leading the duel monsters to battle against Darts. Seemingly defeated, Ironheart, along with his granddaughter, Darts' daughter Chris, and Sky, retreated to a remote location. Yami, Yugi, and Taya were found by him after the train they were on lost control. When Yami Yugi had lost confidence in himself after his legendary dragons Timaeus had abandoned him in his last duel, Ironheart said he would hold on to it for the time being. He then asked what Taya and Yami Yugi were doing here, and they told her that they were searching for a friend. So he then decided to show them the sacred spiritual ground, where he believed Yugi could be found. When Yami Yugi entered the sacred ground, Taya at some point tried to follow him but was stopped by Ironheart, who informed her that only a person with an iron will could enter the area without angering the spirits. There do seem to be times when it is alright to anger the spirits, though, as Ironheart entered the area when the Orichalcos soldier used the seal of Orichalcos against Yami Yugi. He rushed in and tried to bring Timaeus back to Yami Yugi, but was struck down before reaching the seal. At that time, Chris caught up with Ironheart, and was ordered by him to bring the legendary dragon to the Pharaoh. After Darts' defeat, he, Darts, Chris, and Sky all disappear with Atlantis as it returned to the sea. Chris is actually the princess of Atlantis, and she was actually shown to care about her father because honestly, most likely, she's just always looking up to her father.
Oh, and fun fact! Her design is based off of Kirby because of her cheek marks, and it inspired Ochako Uraka's final design in My Hero Academia. And her current appearance is she's wearing pink lip gloss. Take a look at this clip.
And a great father. I've missed you so much, Dad.
Vivian Wong is a beautiful duelist and the Asian champion. She tends to space out in fangirly ways when she should be staying serious, and this often proves to be her downfall. Vivian wears a signature Chinese yellow dress and bracelets on her wrists. Red high heels adorn her bare feet, and her hair is put in 2 buns. She also wears pink lip gloss, and she's very whiny, hoping to get what she wants by obscure means. She is an avid fan of both Yugi and Kaiba to the point of obsession, especially Yugi, whom she hopes to go on a date, much as Taya's ire. She uses her beautiful tactics and attacks to completely defeat her opponents, and was a successful model, actress, and kung fu champion.
She's prettier, more mature, sexier, and smarter. Actually,
she's the cutest girl in Season 5, along with Rebecca.
Kaiba-land is the name given to theme parks set up by Seto and Mokuba Kaiba. And there is only one shown. Seto designed the security system around chess. You had to make the correct checkmate move to gain access to the restricted areas. The Kaiba Corporation, usually shortened to Kaiba Corp, or abbreviated KC, is a company specializing in the entertainment and gaming industry. More specifically, it is aimed at creating technologies centered around the Duel Monsters game. Domino City is located in the United States, and it is home to Yugi Moto, and it is the main setting of the main storylines. And the city is named after the domino game tile.
Now that we covered everyone in the locations, I think it's about time we get on to the final 4 episodes. Let's head on to the spoiler section, shall we?
Ah, spoiler alert!
This is my first time doing this, so wish me luck, okay? Yugi and Atem placed the 7 Millennium items into their slots in the Millennium Stone, which now appears to be intact. Pharaoh Atem and Yugi then separate into 2 physical beings. The duel that will determine the fate of Atem and Yugi begins. Pharaoh Atem begins by summoning the Tricky with an attack power of 2000, but Yugi plays the magic card Swords of Revealing Light. Yugi is able to fuse 3 monsters, Green Gadget, Red Gadget, and Yellow Gadget into 1 monster with 3,000 attack points. The Mobile Fortress Stronghold, however, after successfully summoning Obelisk the Tormentor on his next turn, Pharaoh Atem defeats Yugi's Mobile Fortress Stronghold. Although Yugi is able to dodge Obelisk's next attack against his Silent Swordsman, Pharaoh Atem retaliates by summoning both Slifer the Sky Dragon and the Winged Dragon of Ra, also demonstrating that Atem knows the ancient chant required to summon Ra in the same turn, giving him all 3 Egyptian gods on the field at the same time. The duel between Yugi and Atem continues. The sum of the attack power of Atem's 3 Egyptian gods exceeds 10,000. Yugi is overwhelmed, but successfully summons one of his most powerful partners, Valkyrion, the Magma Warrior, by discarding the 3 smaller Magma Warriors, Alpha, Beta, and Gamma, to the graveyard. He then parries Slifer's summoned Thunderbolt with a quick spell card, Mirage Magic. When a player's monster's attack power and defense power increases or decreases due to an opponent's card effect, Mirage Magic negates the effect and recovers the difference in life points. Furthermore, Yugi also dodges the attacks of all 3 Egyptian gods with the trap card Mirage Roller, forcing Atem to end his turn. Yugi finally makes a counterattack move that threatens the Egyptian gods. He summons the 3 small Magna Warriors, Alpha, Beta, and Gamma, from the graveyard in return for sacrificing Valkyrion, the Magna Warrior, and then activates the trap card Magnet Force. which transfers the effect from Slifer's summoned Thunderbolt onto the Egyptian gods themselves. However, when he launches an attack with Silent Swordsman, Atem activates his face-down trap card, Mirror Force, destroying every monster Yugi had on the field, seemingly leaving him in an unassailable position. Yugi uses the last card in his hand, Magnet Reverse, allowing him to summon Valkyrion the Magna Warrior back from the graveyard. With Magnet Force still in play, Yugi uses Slifer's Summon Thunder to destroy Obelisk. However, moreover, using Valkyrion's special ability, Yugi sacrifices it to summon the 3 smaller Magna Warriors, Alpha, Beta, and Gamma, back to the field, and Slifer's 3 Summon Thunderbolts are redirected to both Slifer and Ra, destroying them both. Having successfully defeated the Egyptian gods, Kaiba himself finally admits that he was wrong about Yugi, and pronounces him as the King of Games, as he did not believe defeating all 3 Egyptian gods simultaneously was possible. However, Atem was not worried at all, admitting that he knew Yugi would defeat the ancient gods. Atem and Yugi trade blows with Chimera, the Flying Mystical Beast, and Buster Blader, respectively, before Atem summoning Swift Gaia the Fierce Knight, whom he discarded to the graveyard on his very first move of the game, and uses it to destroy Buster Blader. Yugi responds by summoning Skull and Curse of Dragon, but Atem demonstrates the power to control his deck at will, and summons Big Shield Gardna to defend himself, albeit temporarily. In a final act of defiance, Atem gives up half of his remaining life points to play Dark Magic Curtain, thus allowing him to summon his most trusted creature, the Dark Magician. When this episode aired in the United States, the ending said to be concluded instead of to be continued, thus hinting the end of the series. Yugi tries his best to fend off the attacks from Atem's most faithful servant, the Dark Magician, but he has left with 400 life points remaining. Yugi then plays a spell card, Gold Sarcophagus, which allows Yugi to choose any magic card from his deck and store it in the chest, if Atem ever uses the same card for himself. Then Yugi can negate the activation of that card. Yugi tries to use Gandora the Dragon of Destruction to defeat the Dark Magician, just as how he was able to defeat Yami Bakura, but to no avail. Atem summons his Dark Magician girl to support his Dark Magician in response to Yugi summoning his Silent Magician. Yugi forces Atem to sacrifice both of his magicians to protect his life points after Yugi uses cards of Sanctity to increase his strength of his Silent Magician. Atem tries to activate the spell card Monster Reborn so he can revive Slifer the Sky Dragon, but at that moment, Yugi opens the gold sarcophagus to reveal the card he sealed away. The card was Monster Reborn, meaning that neither of them can use that card in the game. It is Yugi's message to the Pharaoh that those of the dead should not remain in the world of the living. With the activation of Monster Reborn negated, and Slifer the Sky Dragon sent back to the graveyard, Atem is left defenseless. Yugi finally defeats him, but immediately collapses on his knees in tears, distraught about the realization that he will never see Atem again. Despite Atem telling Yugi that he shouldn't cry, Yugi tells Atem that he is weak, and that Atem's strength and bravery was always his goal. Atem comforts Yugi, saying that he displayed true courage even in deciding to duel Atem in the first place, and that he had a power that no one else could conquer, that of kindness. Yugi's victory had finally set him free. Atem then departs into the afterlife. Then the Millennium Stone shatters, which causes all 7 of the Millennium items to fall into the pit left behind. Also, the shrine collapses, and Shady's spirit is seen here one last time. Everyone barely makes it out in time. As a result of the shrine's destruction, the Millennium items are buried forever. Yugi tells Joey that sometimes the end of one adventure is only the beginning of another. And this concludes the end of the 4Kids version of the story. In the extended ending, it was only in the Japanese version. Yugi, Taya, Joey, Tristan, Bakura, Duke, Grandpa, Kaiba, and Mokuba all leave Egypt and return to Domino City of America. In the airport, they meet up with Rebecca, Arthur, and Serenity. Both Duke and Tristan run towards Serenity, only to be pulled back by Joey. Rebecca hugs Yugi, much to Taya's annoyance. Weevil, Underwood, and Rex Raptor get into an argument again and decide to duel. Siegfried and Leon von Schroeder make a business proposition with Pegasus, to which he agrees. Mako Tsunami returns from a fishing trip, and he meets Espa and the Roba brothers at the arbor. Espa Roba starts his duel disc, indicating that duel is about to take place. My Valentine and Vivian Wong are facing off on a 2-on-2 duel against the Paradox brothers atop the Great Wall of China. The credits end with a cutscene where Grandpa is sweeping, while Yugi comes out of the house to join Taya, Joey, and Tristan to go to school. Yugi ends the episode and show by saying that his story is not ended, and that his story extends beyond that of the Pharaoh, who was 5,000 years defeated the evil Zork necrophages. Like Victory said, the battle was intense and fierce. Yugi won the duel and the Pharaoh seal is finally put to rest. The Millennium items are permanently sealed and Ishtar's job as the keepers are finally completed.
What were you geeks expecting? Fireworks, sappy music, something. At least make one of your little wrap-up speeches, Yug.
Well, sometimes the end of one adventure is just the beginning of another.
Much better.
I don't think any of us expected him to say that.
And with that last line being said, it's the end of the 4Kids Entertainment version, since they were in Egypt. But the original version had shown everyone returning home and going to their separate ways.
Marge, I'm confused. Is this a happy ending or a sad ending?
It's an ending, that's enough.
Well, overall, it was a sad ending, but Marge, it was a sad ending indeed, but you get the point. That's enough.
What the heck are you talking about? You can't be serious right now. You are such an... Okay, stop. You're making it sound like...
You guys, just shut up right now!
Thank you, Natalie. But either way, for Yu-Gi-Oh! The series, we give this a 5 out of 5. And this series rating overall is a perfect 10 out of 10.
Thank you so much for watching, everyone. What do you think? If you appreciate it, please be sure to super smash that like button. And be sure to follow my social media platforms in the description below and Team Lifelight's fandom channels. Please be sure to leave a comment below and please give us your open-minded thoughts. Because we here at Team Lifelight's fandoms do not condone harassment, violence, or trolls allowed. Or otherwise, Red Howick from Comedy Central's The Ren and Stimpy Show will haunt you down till the ends of the Shadow Realm. Please be sure to subscribe to our videos and click the notification bell. You'll never miss a video the second it goes live on YouTube and Google. With that being said, thanks for watching and I'll see you all next time. Bye-bye!